bottom of the ninth, holes loaded, and the field is soaked. Howdy hole, and welcome back, finally, to Hole Chat. I'm your host, Chuck, and with me is someone who is still blessedly mono-free, Keelz.
I made it, fam.
We didn't think it was gonna work out, but I haven't kissed my wife for like 8 weeks.
Hey, now that it's Pride, maybe you can kiss me for Pride Month.
Legitimately, Pride Month has blessed me. I'm feeling better, and I swear it's because it's time to celebrate being queer. That's it.
At this point, if I get mono, I don't care. I haven't kissed you in so fucking long.
Kissing is one thing. The thing that I am more guilty of doing is taking little baby sips off of Keel's beverages, and that had to stop immediately because I could have infected her so many times.
That's kind of impressive. That didn't happen.
I'm deeply obsessed with taking just a single sip of Coke. Don't give me a whole bottle. Don't give me a whole, cup of it. I just want a teeny tiny sip. So, hey. We made it. We're here. First things first, obviously it's fucking Pride Month, bitches. So,
Woo!
Go forth and be gay, do crimes, and support the community in whatever way you can. Second, apparently the Pride Fairy visited me and relieved most of my illness, so I can sit up and make thoughts happen on the computer. So Whole Chat is back on the menu for the whole month. Which, if you're thinking, man, I can't believe Mono made it so that you couldn't think, girl,
Damn.
Was I awake? Was I awake? Was I eating food? Was I functioning? Was I able to read yaoi for part of this time? No.
Mono is a whole different beast.
Mono as a teen, sleep all day, play video games. Mono as an adult, pack it in.
Go to sleep.
Get the coffin ready. Just in case. And then thirdly, we're not really covering a comic today. Oh, how do I put this? I've been meaning to do this for a hot minute. I meant to slot this in sometime in April. And then obviously I got mono the first week in April. Legitimately, we posted that last episode. And then April 1st, like a little fool, I ended up feeling very sick. And then I had mono confirmed the next week. And so this just didn't get done. It was supposed to be more of a little bonus thing. But now we're going to use this to kind of ease back into recording and stuff. But we've gotten some questions about how comics get picked, when certain comics are coming, how this podcast gets put together in general. So today we are giving a little inside baseball. So just some meat and potato shit about what the fuck we're even doing half the time.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. So this is going to be kind of weirdly loose. Probably not going to be edited super heavy either, because we're just kind of shooting the shit, going over some things. But yeah, that's the plan today. Not that we won't be talking somewhat about comics, but just not in the same capacity. No big summary. No, I don't think Keelz is going to scream about anything this time.
Yeah, I think I'll be nice and relaxed this session, which will be new for me.
Well,
we'll see.
The rest of the month won't be that way, so you better enjoy it.
Yay! I love hearing about my gays and all the crimes they get up to.
So many crime. So many things. Okay, so I'm just going to start by, putting out the questions, and I'll answer them together and figure it out from there.
Yeah.
So first things first. How do these comics get picked? Excellent question. But one that I've also kind of mentioned before, but this podcast is 100% things that I like or that I've been interested in. So mostly my taste, but I do consider Keel's feelings about it since she's with me most of the time. Mm-hmm. So there are things that I love, Dark Heaven is one of my favorite comics of all time. Definitely want to do an episode on it. I'm not telling her.
No.
I told her bits and pieces when I first read it, and she was like, keep the devil away from me. And I said, okay.
Yeah, because what's really nice about having any relationship is having limits. Whether it's for kink or for, you just need boundaries on something, that's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. So there's a few things that I'm just like, baby step me in. So I personally am not going to enjoy a non-con story.
Mm-hmm.
I like violence, I like gore, I like horror, but I don't like non-con because it's so close to real horror, like real world horror.
Yeah.
Real world horror is war, famine, racism, and like rape, and I don't want that in my stories.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about a ghost in a tree that's gonna suck your soul out. I want that. That's not real. I don't want to think of like real things in my fantasy, especially in my romance when I'm reading a romance. So because I have that limit, and Chuck is fine, like she'll read any good story. Like if the story's good, Chuck is gonna read the story.
Yeah, usually.
But me, I have my limits. But we also have like baby talk to each other. Because like there are some stories that despite the fact that there's rape in it, I'll just skip the scene to read it. Because you know what I also love? Gangsters. Yakuza. Mafia. I like those stories.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
true. That's true.
But in those worlds, that kind of behavior kind of lives there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not every gang is a rapist and not everyone does that. But it happens a lot. And you could probably assume it happens 90% of the time at some point.
Yeah.
So the rape subject is going to come up in mafia stories and things like that.
It's also just that thing of like, I think there's icks and then there's triggers. I think if something is a trigger, it's going to be a hard line to get over. But we also just can have icks and like things that we're not super fond of. And that those can be a lot more forgiving or flexible. So there are certain things that I don't like. I don't want to see a baby get born in a comic. I don't want explicit birth scenes. I'm just not big into explicit birth scenes. Yes, I've watched birth, didn't care for it. I don't even really like watching animal birth. I watched a cat give birth the other day and I was like, put it back. So that's not something that I'm actively looking for. But it has shown up in things where I was like, I'm okay with it. I don't want the whole comic to be giving birth.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
So definitely, I have a boundary, I have an ick, but we've discussed it. So, like, there are times when she's got to tell me a comic that it's like, yeah, I think we can get around it. Mm-hmm. But I know what Dark Heaven is about. No, we can't. We can't get around it.
Let me enjoy my fictional racism, okay?
You can't. But also the sequel, the one with Grace.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
No, Hottie.
Why did I think Grace? Whatever.
I think her name might mean Grace, is why.
I'm fucking crazy.
She has like a biblical adjacent name or something like that, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, the cult. Okay, so there's like a sequel to Dark Heaven.
Which is also very good.
Which is, it sounds spectacular.
It's so good.
I can't touch it. Because there's so much there's so much rape in that one. Like, not necessarily showing you anything, but it is specifically someone's trauma. And I can't be there with them, fam.
Like, it's one of those things. And so it's, okay, so we're clear. We do this on the podcast, and I am very eloquent and, like, trying to get my point across and whatever. But I tell her, like, everything I read in bits and pieces. So there's plenty of stories that she's heard tons of that she's never going to read. She appreciates it. I can show her whole chunks. I've shown her whole chunks of Dark Heaven. Shown her whole chunks of the sequel, Guardians of the Lamb.
Yeah.
She enjoys the idea of the story, but she's not going to lock it in.
The art's beautiful. The scenes I can look at are great. But I already know I don't want to live in that sense of dread. Do I wish I could read that story? Yes. Do I hope that one day I can get over my ick enough to enjoy it? Yes. Am I going to do that live on a podcast? Never.
No, that's okay. Well, and this even gets down to the point where I wanted to kind of do this podcast is some of it was like, can I convince Keelz, my darling wife, to actually, get back into yaoi a little bit? Yes. You've read some bangers in this last, year and a half.
Yeah, because, I said, because, you did start this because you wanted to do it, but you kind of also started because you're like, why don't you read yaoi anymore? And I was like, I'm burnt out, bro. It's all trash.
And I convinced you. There's good shit. It's got to, peel back the layers a little bit. But that's also kind of what I want to do. Like, the same way that I'm guiding Keelz to some good stuff, I want to kind of guide other people to that. Or if they just don't want to read it, they can at least still hear about it and kind of engage with it, see what's out there. Like, this is supposed to be a very kind of chill, hey, there's boys kissing, there's girls kissing, there's queer people kissing kind of situation.
Hell yeah.
So...
And, with decent story, because, I don't know if it's just I don't have good luck.
Yeah, it's that.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, like, I have the unfortunate luck of I'll pick up something, read the summary, and be like, this summary sounds okay. And then I'm just met with disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
So, for some reason, Yowie has decided, you suck. Get the worst of us. So I'm just not good at picking them. So Chuck's been doing me a favor and been kind of getting me to get back into it. And I've been able to trust stories again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, outside of Keelz and worrying about her icks, any sort of guest that comes on, I'm also cognizant of their icks, that we have a conversation before every time. Like, hey, do you have a hard line? Like, Mia has told me she has no hard line. She'll literally read anything. And so she's great as far as, like, I can just give you anything and it's fine. I think the only thing that she's kind of icked about is, like, she doesn't like gangster stuff that much. But she will read it, but she doesn't want them to spend a lot of time in gangsterland. She just wants them to be two scarred guys fucking deep. And fucking deep and nasty and a little bit toxic. She's there. But don't have them talk about the intricacies of, like, trade routes, of, like, moving drugs from one country to another. Yeah. She's out.
Of stuffing drugs in a living person's body.
She doesn't want to hear about that.
Has to get that taken out at the airport.
Yeah, she doesn't care about that. Me, I'm different, you know? But this is just something I do every episode, is trying to get a vibe, like, what do you absolutely not want to talk about? Because I want this to be enjoyable. But also what this is kind of turned into, because I do, like, host with Keelz the most often, I'm now starting to pick things that I think she'll like. I don't do it all the time. But there are definitely some things that I picked up and I was like, oh, she'll love this. And I read it only thinking that she might like it. And then I was like, she does. Episode. Okay.
That's true. You have found quite a few things that you're like, I was actually thinking of you. I want you to still make sure you get things that you like, too. But I do appreciate you looking out for me.
To be fair, I love them, too. I would have just recommended them to you off pod if I didn't also like them, but I also like them, and I was like, well, fuck it. She's gonna like it. Some of y'all bitches might like it, too. Hell yeah, let's go.
Fuck it, we ball.
And then, yeah, obviously, if I haven't been keeping up with it super great, but if there's ever an episode that I want to do and Keelz can't do it, I do just put it aside. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're not going to talk about Ouroboros for a long time, it's not going to be with you. Point is, I have
Mia might like that.
I think Mia would like that.
It's again scheduling, because I'm her wife. She can kind of make me do anything. She paid for me, you know?
I did buy you with my Hohen money, so yeah, actually, yeah. But with certain stories, it's like they just have to sit in the bank until I can schedule with the right person, and then I can go ahead and drop something like that. Because, yeah, we're having a chill time. I'm not trying to make anybody relive a trauma or, you know, feel miserable.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question that kind of piggybacks off the last one. How do we pick a guest? Or why do we not have guests that often? Well, so first and foremost, all the guests are my Yowie and Yuri pilled friends, pretty much. My wife, before she was my wife, was my Yowie pilled and Yuri pilled friend. Mia is also somebody that I met through the same sorts of situations. I mean, we got along at work, and then obviously turned into, you know, talking about smut on our break. Lemon is somebody that I've known for a long time, kind of through fandom spaces and stuff like that. Same situation. We also like talking about smut. And there's a couple other people that I've wanted to get on that, like, I mean, somebody had a baby recently, which is why they haven't been on, because they're very busy.
They'd be good for the show. I know who you're talking about.
Right, but same situation. They are busy, and that's the only reason why I haven't had them on. And then I actually do plan to have one of our straight friends on at some point.
Yes.
Because there's a very specific comic I think he would love. So they're just generally people I know in my life. So, like, if you are listening to this right now, and we are friends, and we've been friends for a while, watch the fuck out, because maybe I'll invite you on, because I've got some other people I wouldn't mind having on for something as well. So that's generally how this goes. As far as why we don't have that many guests, I started doing this when I thought I was doing really well health-wise. And I have been proven wrong for a year and a fucking half.
Oh boy.
And then Keelz also has had her own long health journey in accordance with the situation. So when we are back at our collective fighting weight, we will defo want some more folks on here. But, you know, oops. So it just hasn't panned out to where we can have more people. I would love to get Mia back for sure. We don't live far from each other. she's adorable and perfect and everything, but it's, you know.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people we'd like on, and now that we're talking about this, I think it'd be really funny to bring my brother on. He loves both of us so much, he would gladly endure hearing about a yaoi.
I'd pick a good one for him, too. I'd pick something fun and fantasy or something like that as well, but yeah, that's been the big issue, is just timing, having the spoons for it, that sort of thing. We also, in a fugue state that I had after my first surgery this year, I did start thinking about some moonshot guests, and I didn't want to reach out to them until I have my stuff kind of settled, but I now currently have 3 moonshot guests. I'm not saying anything because I don't want to jinx it, but there are 3 people I would love to have on here. If they have the time, they would be great. And I know one of them is a certified yaoi girly, and then the other 2 I just think would find this whole situation fascinating. So
yeah, so we figured why not? We eventually would like to ask them.
Yes. But that's going to take them talking to like somebody's agent most likely as well. So look out. If I seem excited at any point like later on this year, you'll know it's about that, you know? But we'll see what happens.
Hey.
Next question. What's the process of making an episode? First, I get unreasonably obsessed with the comic. Then I give it a reread while writing out the summary portion of the script. And at that point, I also take screenshots of like relevant scenes. Just, you know, because it would make sense to like read the comic, reread it again, and then go back and take screenshots. I do not have a strong short-term memory. I would not remember all the places I need to stop. It's just trying to be efficient. And then once the summary is finished, I hanker down and try to organize my thoughts to convince Keelz or the guests that this is the coolest shit they've ever heard of. And then once the script's done, I schedule time to record where we have to shut every sound-making device off, and then we do the episode. So like right now, our air conditioner's off. We live in the South, but the AC is off.
It sucks, fam.
Because otherwise, I have to edit it out. If I really had to edit it out of episodes before where I forgot to turn the AC off, it sucks balls, dude, but that is how it is. We also tend to record at night for that same reason, because it's too fucking hot here. Yeah. But my mic is beautiful and catches every sound.
Unless it's a guess, it's like midnight, y'all.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the only times we've done it in the afternoon, really, it was an Old Man Yowie episode. We did Old Man Yowie, and that one we actually did in the afternoon. We did the first part in the afternoon, evening. We went sing karaoke, and then we came back and finished it up that night. And then, yeah, any of the ones with Lemon have been early in the day, and the one I did with Mia, it was like 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, otherwise it is always night. So after I'm actually done with the episode, we recorded it, we finished off, I then spend an afternoon editing and pulling out the voice clips, and then make the clips to post on our social media and let the finalized episode hang out until usually like Thursday evening. I should put the finalized video together early, but I just won't add in like the opening and ending and shit until Thursday. And that's normally when I also come up with the title for the episode too. I wait until the very last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Every fucking time.
Why? Is it just a habit now?
Oh, I'm just an asshole to myself.
Girl.
I'll be like, no, I'm done with the hard part. I finished editing. I'll figure out a title later.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like you.
And then generally, too, with the titles, that is a thing that Keelz helps me the most with as far as, like, back-end development for this. Because I know if I tell her a title and she laughs, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
If she laughs or she goes like, oh, damn, that's good, then I know that, like, I've hit the nail on the head. And then she's pitched some titles, of course, as well. We did a lot of spitballing with that.
Yeah.
It's not that important, but I don't care. So, next question. Why are y'all even doing this? We're stupid, and we both should have been English or creative writing majors. Next question.
That's fair.
It is fair.
I could have a third degree I do nothing with.
We both should have double majored. And we didn't.
I mean, but then I'd have like I said, another degree I do nothing with.
What are degrees, if not fancy pieces of paper that your parents keep?
God.
Okay, next question. Why a podcast instead of a blog? So I got laid off in 2024, and I had 3 choices. Start a podcast, start streaming, or develop a drug habit. I chose 2 of those, and I'm on too many pills to add any new meds, so you can guess the 2 that I chose.
Woof. Legal pills, too, because, again, autoimmune disease here.
Oh, takes so many pills, dog. As an aside, I was talking to one of our friends, and they were saying, like, oh, it sucks so much that I have to take, like, 3 pills a day, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty good amount, and they were upset initially, like, that's too many, and I was like, I take, like, 10 a day, and I have been for years, and I actually finally got off of one of them, and I was really excited, and then I added in a new one. So yeah, no drug habit, all of my codeine is legal, and I don't want to take it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is just kind of the choice that I made. I you know, millennial making a podcast, it's not surprising, it's just whatever, and it felt like an interesting thing to do. But also, I'm way too verbose when writing, and I think y'all will be sick of my shit. Because I already have to cut parts out of the scripts because it's way too much, and like round edges on things, because it's a lot. Then I also feel like this way you can surround yourself, like, listening about gay shit while you are doing your decidedly heterosexual jobs in your heterosexual little offices or heterosexual little stores, which I have in parentheses Crate and Barrel.
What's Crate and Barrel?
We went to one once when we were in that, like, rich town, and, like, really basic home goods were, like, $30.
Was that weird organizing store?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought something from there, just like a tiny throwaway item, but it was still for organization. And the cashier gave me shit as I was buying it, and all I could think of was like, do you not want me to spend money here? What's happening, dog?
Crate and Barrel just feels heterosexual in a way that I can't pin down.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, so just, that was the thought.
It was very taupe, like what all the moms do.
Yes, sad beige mom coded. If that's what your life is dealing with, put the gay shit in your ears. You can't always read, you know, but you can listen to us talking about deep fucking.
At least we can tell you a suggestion for what to read next.
Yes. So when you get off of your 9 to 5, pushing papers around, sucking up to white men, white cis men, whatever it is that, you know, causes you problems in your daily life, you can come home. And also, for the white cis men thing, I mean also, any white cis men who listen to this podcast, you also probably have to suck up to a white cis man that you do not care for, and he owns a boat, and you should be upset with him. So we're clear.
We all have to kiss ass of a white man or a Karen, you know?
Yeah, and so you get to come home and then unwind and put on some queer smut and read through that as you sip your Dorito-flavored Mountain Dew and have a hot dog.
Is there a Dorito-flavored Mountain Dew?
It's in Australia.
Wow, there's a Cheeto-flavored one that's not bad.
Well, it's Flaming Hot, specifically.
Flaming Hot, yeah. That one was actually good.
It's like a spicy margarita. Never mind.
Chuck's other obsession is Mountain Dew. A fun little fact for you.
And I resist talking about it every episode. Thank you. Anyways, next question. Why haven't you covered XYZ comic? There's a 2-part answer to this, and most of the rest of this time will probably be devoted to this because this is what we've gotten asked the most often. So, 1, if the comic is ongoing, I'm trying not to cover it. Partially because Keelz is impatient, but mostly because we've both been wrong before.
Yes, to add to that, I have found, and so has Chuck, you're having the best time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ruin it in the very last 10 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
That is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to recommend that. We don't want to start you on a journey where it gives you everything you want, and then either the very last season of it or the last 10 chapters ruin it.
Yes. Yeah, I just don't want to... I don't want to read something and then the end ruins the whole vibe or changes the meaning or just pisses me off. And honestly, it can be really difficult to rate or discuss a story in full if it's not done. Like, I know people do it all the time. They rate things by volume or whatever. But I just want to be really certain about the contents before I pass this off to somebody, before I recommend it to somebody. It's my thing. I guess I'm being overly responsible, but I also do have anxiety. So I just feel like I should just tell you everything that I can or give you the best idea that I possibly can before I recommend something. Like, case in point, there's a manhwa that I read the first season of back when it was rated like T for teen, and it's called Cherry Blossoms After Winter. I didn't super love the first season. I thought it was okay, made me frustrated at points, dropped it, right? Second season comes out, it's now rated 18. And I was like, good for y'all, I hope y'all fuck great. Okay? I didn't realize that they were still releasing seasons until I saw an update. Like, I got a notification for updating from somewhere, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, crazy, they're still doing stuff. I thought they released, like, the books or something like that, or there's something else going on, or a special event. No, there's a new season. The new season is making literally everyone who's a fan of it deeply upset. Me is reading it, and I occasionally log on to Discord, and I'm like, girl, are you good? Are things going okay?
Real bad?
They introduce some weird fucking shit that doesn't make sense. The comic had pretty much ended, and now I think it's season 5 is what it is. So they had 4 seasons of things going fine. Season 4 ended. It was a nice end to the story. They had extras for it, and then suddenly it's season 5. And season 5 is like changing how characters are acting. There's like the potential for somebody getting like really inappropriate, like sexually with another character that wasn't there before. So they added in somebody's dad, and I was like, and what I remember of the story, I'm like, so-and-so's dad showed up? But why? So even me, not in this at all. Barely remember parts of the story.
It for a second.
Yeah, but it's just, I'm still upset for them. And so this is why I try to wait. Because that shit will come out of nowhere. And then I would have to tell somebody, hey, yeah, only read from here to here. The next part sucks.
Yeah, and for me, like, to give, like, again, my guilty pleasure is isekai. Mm-hmm. To give, like, an example of a series that I was, like, really vibing with until it ended, or got close to the ending, it was, like, it's called The Abandoned Empress.
Oh, I remember you talking about this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, like, that thing is long. It's, like, 400 chapters, and, like, I was really, really enjoying it, and then, like, you start to realize that the female lead is probably still gonna marry the guy who killed her in the past. Who killed her, cheated on her. It was awful. Like, because she's reborn in her own life. Like, she lives out her life once and then replays it. And so I kind of count that as an isekai. It's not really, it's not like the true definition.
Yeah.
But it is a trope that happens a lot.
It's close enough.
Yeah. But so anyways, she redoes it again, and she's, like, changing her life, making different choices, making different friends, trying to avoid a disaster. And then in the end of the story, spoilers, she gets with the guy that killed her in her first life. Still. Mm-hmm. Some people are fine with it. I'm not. And that was so disappointing because it was so incredibly long. And I was like, surely they're not doing that. Surely we're not going back to this dude.
Yeah.
And we go back to this dude.
Yeah. And granted, there are tons of reasons why something might end kind of wonky. Like, there's definitely ones that I've read where it ended wonky or kind of poorly, or I didn't like it. And you can tell sometimes when it's the author shouldn't have enough time. It's you know, it's a thing with Blood of the Sun, or whatever the fuck they're calling it now. Blood of the Sun is like, has all the potential in the world to be a good comic, but they shouldn't have capped them in the middle. The vampire and werewolf one.
I remember that one.
Yeah, that has all the potential to be a good comic. It's terribly sloppy, especially in the back half. But to be fair, all the other works these people made are significantly longer and were really successful. Sometimes that can happen. We're just, you know, your licensor shits the bed on you. Your editor tells you to go fuck yourself. So you don't always have control over it. But I still want to be able to warn people, like, hey, yeah, this ended kind of wonky. Or, hey, you know, it's really, really good, but you kind of have to, like, imagine some things at the end. You know where they were going. They released extras about it, whatever. So that's the thing. This is also entirely why we have covered BJ Alex and not Jinx. Because Minghua is amazing. She deserves her flowers. She's a great author and artist. But Jinx is insane. I think the last episode drops, like, right now. Like, the day they're recording is, I think the last Jinx episode is either dropping today or dropped yesterday or it's tomorrow. But even still, there's going to be extras out the yin-yang, and we're going to need them extras because what the fuck is going on?
But we do, like their author, know that they are going to make us hate someone and then make us love them again.
Yeah, but
so we're excited by it.
But I want to be able to judge, like, do I feel like this character got their redemption? They work hard enough where there's enough tears and groveling, that sort of thing. So, not going to talk about it till it's done. But I guess stay tuned this year. Maybe we will do Jinx finally. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe this year.
2, the other reason why certain things don't get covered, if I don't want to cover it for some reason, then I'm not going to do it. Usually it's because I didn't like it, but sometimes it's because it's disappointing. Other times I just didn't find it interesting. But Chuck, you say, you did 2 different comics that were kind of bad. Yeah, because I did actually like something about them, and I thought that they had a lot of potential. Like I was just talking about Blood of the Sun. I did think that parts of that comic were good. I was like locked in for the first probably like 10, 15 chapters, and then it got really weird, and I was kind of mad. But I kept going because the art's delicious. Some of the writing choices they made sounded pretty cool, and then, it's just a mess. But a lot of times, like, I think the art or the writing teams could serve some serious cunt in the coming years. Or, like, I liked enough of the story to finish them off, so, like, I had something positive to say, And I also, as far as the other one that I covered, Perfect Body Partner or whatever, I didn't want people to get pumpkin bombed by the sudden incest, and I saw that happen to so many people who were reading it, and I was like, yeah, if you just skip the incest chapter, you can finish reading it and kind of see what the core story is supposed to be about.
What story was this?
Perfect Body Partner. It's the one where the main character's like into BDSM, and then like it's fucky a little bit, but it's not that bad, and then he's like incest into season 1, and then they ignore it in season 2 and just move on.
Yeah. That was weird.
I think people deserve to know that you can just skip that chapter and move on. And then you kind of see the story forming, and then, she fizzles out and she doesn't finish it, which I think is totally fair. So that's where my brain normally is, and that's why stuff doesn't end up getting finished. But I wrote this part out so that I could actually go over some examples of some things I will not be covering. And I will tell you now, they are in order of least likely to talk about to most likely to talk about, okay? So just keep that in mind. So number 1 at the top, a comic that I do not want to talk about, is Pulse. It is a Yuri comic that involves a high-powered female doctor who's definitely getting that bag, and she's super popular. And all of the women love her, and everyone's in lesbians with her, and she's perfect. And a heart transplant patient who is an ambiguous age, but very young.
She like when you were reading this, because you were so mad, like you were like, is this an 18-year-old? What the fuck is happening?
Because I can't figure out what her age is,
yeah.
But it's young, and so sometimes I think she's a high schooler, and sometimes I think she's in college, but I can't tell because she's also been held back from school, but they refuse to tell you her age, but I know the doctor's like 30.
They're like, honestly, if they're not saying her age, I'm going to say what I told you. She got to be underage.
And so we're clear. Do I normally care about underage and old, like, age gaps in, like, a comic? No. It really doesn't come up to me. I don't care. It's fictional. It's not a big deal. However, the fact that they wouldn't just say it kind of drove me crazy. And the bigger issue is that, like, I just didn't like how anybody was acting in this motherfucker. Not a single person. Little Miss Heart Transplant annoyed the fuck out of me. But Big Mama Doctor also annoyed the fuck out of me. And I know a lot of people like this one. It just didn't hit for me. I'm obviously sick a lot, and I deal with doctors a lot. And so all of it just felt like watching Grey's Anatomy, but like season 12. So nothing really feels riveting to you. You're just like, God, I wish, Grey would stop doing whatever the fuck this is. Or, wow, the evil bisexual got, like, screwed over. Like, that's what it just felt like. We're just talking about that, and it's like, cut out all the medical scenes and we're fine. Just cut out the medical scenes and just pretend we don't know anything. It's fine. It's pet peeves territory, but okay. The beginning was pet peeve territory, and that's why I was not super happy with season 1. But season 1 ended okay, even though I generally was like, this isn't for me. Season 2's bad. Season 2 introduces malpractice.
Oh.
In a way that I was like, no, yeah, somebody could go to jail for this forever and lose their license, and we're just not going to do anything about it. And then some other girl pulls some stupid bullshit because she's like, I just love having BDSM sex. And I'm like, what? And then there's also a sexual assault scene that they draw out for a long time that I'm like, what are we doing? This isn't hot or sexy or dangerous. And it comes out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. You have no hint I think the author was just given the option to do season 2 and run with it. So this is why I'm not going to cover it. And see, this is also why I don't want to cover it, because I'm immediately mad. I'm just as mad as I was when reading it, and I don't want to bring that into your lives. So Pulse is right out. Don't ask me.
If you got one I'll never do, I'll tell you in case, like, you got the wild hair. But I don't think you'll do it. Citrus. I'm never going to do it. It's about lesbians who become sisters who fuck. I don't really enjoy the stepsister thing.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of, we're lesbians, and we're now siblings, and we're gonna fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But not only do they, like, fuck, the relationship is pretty toxic and abusive. And, like, I would say rapey. I like Yuri. Tried a little bit of it. No,
I understand that. I don't really have an intention to read Citrus or that other one where it's like two girls are dating boyfriends, but then they're also dating each other. They made a really shitty anime off of it. I'm not reading that one. You can't make me. I have no interest. I don't care. We're not gonna... Cheating is also not that big of a deal to me in comics a lot of the time, but when the entire story is based on cheating, I will go do literally anything else. Mm-hmm. It's not a strong ick, but it's just... I think it's just boring after a point. Sorry.
Yeah.
In like pornography, if we're just doing straight porn, cheat all you want.
Yeah,
fine.
like...
But I just get tired of it when it's an actual story. We don't have to do this that long.
Yeah, like, as a bisexual person, I get real tired of cheating. Because as a bisexual person, the moment someone hears I'm bisexual, they're like, well, you must cheat.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That is not the that is not the point.
Oh, don't.
Holy shit.
Don't worry, if we're talking about situations. Oh, you're ace and you're married? Does your partner cheat on you?
Yeah. Like, I get, like... Or, like, they'll ask you some inappropriate questions. I'm not even repeating. They'll ask you something crazy inappropriate about what you do or do not do and what I do or do not do. And it's like, dog, what are we doing? You don't know me that well. Like, let's go through a car wreck together before you ask me something.
So, happy Pride. We don't love seeing our microaggressions put onto paper.
Yeah.
It's what it is. Okay, number 2 on this list of I don't think I'm going to do this. Legs That Won't Walk is such a good first season. And then you realize the author got lost in edgy porn and couldn't wrap things up. So it's not the end of the world. This is the first time I've spoken about this and not become irrationally angry. And I'd like to be nice about its flaws. Because Keelz is quiet right now. She's making this face because she knows how angry I've been about this before. But I'm now at a point where I can at least be like, I don't really want to talk about it. But I get why people would like it, and I get why it looks good to people, and you can read it if you want to. But you need to be prepared for season 3 to be a fucking mess, is all I'm gonna say.
I'm trying not to laugh. The vitriol Chuck has for this book, this is the nicest she's ever been about it.
I'm learning, and I'm growing, and something else slotted into my number 1, and so I think that's why I'm getting better.
What else got in?
Pulse is now the number 1.
Pulse is now the number
Pulse
1?
Pulse pisses me off more than it
Whoa! That's pretty big for you.
Well, I forgot the name of Pulse, the author's name. I like obliterated it from my brain because thinking about it made me mad.
Yeah.
So this is why. So I'm sure everybody's seen Legs That Won't Walk around the same way a lot of Yuri fans have seen Pulse around. Girl, it's just not for me. This next one, number 3, I forgot the title because I keep telling myself that it can't be this title because the title sounds too cute.
Oh boy.
And the comic was not my favorite. Heat and Run, which is an ABO comic. It's deeply boring. I just found it boring. I don't think it was bad for the earth, but it has some elements I kind of like in it, but then they just kind of don't do anything. Every conflict is solved like super, super quick. Like you spend some time in the conflict, think it's a big deal, and then it's solved super quick. There's a misunderstanding and they solve that. Like, it takes them longer to solve it than it makes sense for them to solve it because of like the story structure they've set up and the relationships between these people. And it's every time I think they're about to do something interesting, they're just like, nah, dude, we're not doing that. And the art's a little all over the place, but I generally am more forgiving about that because it happens. But it just, there was so much of Heat and Run, and I forced myself to read all but like the last 10 extras. I just couldn't do it anymore. So there are people who liked it, and I think feel free to like it. I don't, again, it's not abysmal. It didn't make me mad. I was just really kind of frustrated that I read as much as I had and things just weren't happening. And when conflict did come up, it was just pointless. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah.
But what's nice about us saying these comics is now if you've like, man, Keelz and Chuck have not reviewed anything to my taste, and anything that we've said sounds like it's to your taste, you now know the names of. Go read them.
Yeah. Like, and
we're
I'm
not
sorry.
saying don't read them, but
Yes.
we're probably not going to do anything in depth.
Yeah, and like, or go see it because I'm mad about it, and maybe it'll be your favorite thing. Like, that's totally fine. I like some of these I've read because an author I liked recommended them, and then or artist I liked recommended them, and then I figured out we don't have the same taste.
Is it like, okay, no joke, I have done that too, where I read something because another author liked it, and I'm like, why did you like this? Because like when they write so well, and then they recommend something, and you're like, this is atrocious.
Yeah, and so that's what it is. We all have different taste. I am not god of queer smut. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right?
But we're just hitting on things we won't read.
Just because I think it was boring, you might need something boring and palate cleansing in the same way that, like, sometimes you gotta eat oatmeal to settle your stomach. Maybe that'll be your oatmeal, and that's totally fine. So, if you just want to have a chill time, I recommend,
And maybe our oatmeal is your fragua or something,
Yeah.
Everyone has different tastes. Like what you like. Read what you want to read. Reading's great. But, like, we're just not going to do certain things.
Exactly. Number 5 on this list is Fight Club, which is an ABO comic, or an Omegaverse comic, that is about a Omega that is a very good fighter, and this cocky-ass alpha decides, I can definitely beat him, because I am bored of being perfect at everything, so I'm going to try and do Fight Club, and then the Omega kicks his ass. And let me tell you, that's my shit. I love the idea of that. I was hooked. Here's the problem, though. The male lead can go fuck himself. He pissed me off the whole time, and I'm still pissed at him. Legit, I believe some of y'all would like this one a lot, because there's a lot to like about it, and I do believe some people love a douchey male lead, but he does not get what he deserves enough. I think he deserves to be alone. I think he deserves to be abandoned by the Omega for like 6 years and then come back into his life as a grown, mature person, and then he has to win the Omega back because, dude, he sucks. And every time I thought he was going to get better, he just ended up pivoting to be more annoying. And I know I told Keelz about it and how mad I was, and you were also like, this dude sucks, I hate him. And it's like, yeah, me too.
I also don't like an annoying male lead. Woof. Or like a controlling male lead.
I just don't care for him. He's a stupid bastard. I want to push him off the curb, and I want him to sprain his ankle. So that's why I'm not going to do that one.
Yeah.
That's why that wouldn't be at the top of my list. This is closer to being an episode.
Because you were enjoying it for a while. You just kept saying, God, I hope he gets his comeuppance. Because there's something kind of nice about an arrogant person learning to do better.
Yeah.
Like, I like that in a lot of stories.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to recommend one. And this one's interesting because it's less arrogance and more that they had a disability. But the disability came off as arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
It's called, like, Foam of the Sea. It's, like,
Mm-hmm.
58 chapters, really short, Little Mermaid vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Very wonderful storytelling, very cute art, fantastic. And the character, I'm not going to say is without an ego. They're not really egotistical, though. Again, it's more of a disability issue.
Mm-hmm.
But how they're perceived, it's thought it's the ego is the problem.
Oh, yeah, and this is straight shit, by the way,
Yeah,
right?
This is a straight ship.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
I should have mentioned. This is a straight ship. But it's a very lovely story of, like, disabilities, about how people treated people with disabilities. It's also about politics and war
Mm-hmm.
with Little Mermaid vibes, but, like, Han's version, not Disney version.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice, very good, and, like, they learn a lesson. And, like, no, they're not, like, super egotistical, so they didn't need to learn a hard lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So their lesson is pretty easy. Their first lesson is rough. But the second time that they're taught, hey, I should think other than myself, it's a fairly easy lesson, and like they understand, and then they humble themselves and they make up for it. So if you had any resentment, which I didn't for them, but there are some people who took their disability as ego.
Yeah.
And again, it was a disability, not ego, but it was great. And so they were like, oh yeah, they paid for like their ego. They understand now. Now we want them to do good.
Yeah, there's some sort of payoff, and I just felt the entire time reading Fight Club that I needed this man to die.
And there was no payoff. And that's the issue. Is
I don't
you need a payoff.
He didn't suffer enough.
Yeah. Because what's the idol one? Because you talked about that one, right?
Which idol
the
one?
Yaoi idol.
Oh, the idol isekai?
Yeah. Did you talk about that one?
No, we haven't covered the idol isekai. I
was going to say that if you can leave this in or cut it.
Yeah, there is an idol isekai that is by the author who did The New Recruit, Punch Drunk Love, and a bunch of others. Her name is Mascaretto, but she's done a bunch. But she has an idol isekai that there is a big payoff because the main character keeps getting reborn into situations or whatever, and he's trying to fix what happened in his life and blah blah blah. And the person you think is the douche character there's a real big surprise about him, and it's really interesting, and it was interesting how they're trying to work through things because they're a bunch of teenagers trying to work through shit, and that's difficult because you're a teen. I thought it was surprisingly very good, like very chill, not like a masterpiece, but very chill and interesting, and there is a good payoff for somebody kind of having a redemption and getting better, and that's all I'm asking for, is make the person who's a douche suffer some. Because that's my true fantasy, is when people are mean to me that they suffer a little bit, and I want that in my stories.
Suffer a little bit, learn a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yes.
Yes, you can cut that out if you plan to do that episode later. I suddenly thought you had.
I have no idea if I'm going to do it. I hadn't thought about it, actually. So.
Okay. But yeah, like, you hyped that one, and I read it, and I was like, oh, wow. I like the ego check the character.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was goofy, too, which I appreciated.
Yeah, it was just a goofy little romp. It was pretty interesting. So that's what I'm looking for.
And, to be real, I wouldn't have read that one if you didn't tell me about it, because it has some stuff in it that I don't like. I don't enjoy, like, almost harems.
Yes, yeah. I get what you're talking about. Yeah, it's also a bit of a harem, but it's a harem for, like, kind of a stupid reason.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. So, yeah, because we both aren't big harem fans, but I read that one. I gave it a shot. I actually liked it. I trusted the author. So, that's a whole thing. That being said, I don't know if I'm going to do an episode, but if you would be interested in that one, I think it's called Shoot for the Stars. If you are interested in that one, I could do an episode on it. Just ask. But I wasn't planning on it. Because while I like it, it's not something I'm super passionate about,
Fair.
But yeah. Number 6. So now we're getting into stuff again that I would probably be more likely to cover. Kill Switch. I read it a long time ago. I thought I was going to slot it in as a Yuri month thing, and then I didn't. Because it's fine. It's a hard as hell name for a fairly soft story that very much encapsulates baby's first situationship. There's lesbians in it. They're fucking up and not doing things in the correct order. There's some weird bullying stuff going on that's kind of mild. It's not that big of a deal. I feel like these college students are way too concerned with what other people think, but I guess that makes sense because college. There's a hot motorcycle lady that was the main reason I kept going. Because she is hot. I really like her.
I remember you telling this story a little bit now.
Yeah, I know I told you some about it, but it's one of the stories where it just feels like the teeth got knocked out of the plot. So I feel like the author's next work is going to be banger, but I kind of get the feeling they wanted her to... Because it's got pornography in it. I thought... It just feels like they wanted her to do something that is like baby's first Yuri. So nothing too extreme. And so the parts where I thought she could have really dug in a little bit more and explained some things, those got cut short. And so it feels like you just turned 18 yesterday and this is what they're going to give you. Because if you cut the sex out, it is definitely like a teen plot. It's just not that deep. And so, don't hate it, but I wasn't stoked about it. And as far as our last one, number 7, the one that I could easily do an episode about, but I haven't felt like it, and I don't think I'm going to feel like it. Dear Door. I enjoyed this comic. It was fun while I read it. I liked the art. Thought some of the story beats were cool. But it is the equivalent of those action-adventure yaoi bait animes from the 90s and early 2000s. It's better than them in the fact that, like, the men actually fucking here. But the story's just doing whatever. Like, it starts so interesting, and then we just kind of keep adding on elements because the whole situation is a cop, his, like, partner died, his wife died, I think wife or girlfriend or fiance or something like that, but important woman to him died, and now he's taking time off from being a cop and is on his leave or whatever, and then, like, a demon ends up manifesting, out of somewhere embarrassing, and then they have a lot of nasty sex, because the nasty sex helps the demon keep his powers in the human realm and stuff like that. It very much is one of those things where they just keep giving you reasons and it doesn't have to make sense. And I do think that's fun. I did read I think I read all but the last, like, 5 extras, because the extras had gone, like, 20 years into the future. And so this is why I was just like, I don't know what we're doing anymore. And I'm sleepy, so I'm just going to quit. But there's nothing particularly wrong with it. It just does feel like watching Vice-Kreutz, but with penetration. Or Gatekeepers. Or what was the other one? Descendants of Darkness. There are a bunch. There are a bunch of ones that just had, a bunch of animes that just had hot looking men looking like they're going to get in situations with each other, and then they don't get in situations because the people who made those animes are cowards and just want, like, women and queer people's money, you know?
Yeah, and to be fair, at the time, that was all you could get in those eras.
Yeah, you know...
And so at least now, people are getting...
Yes. I think it's great that this exists. I love that Dear Door exists, but it does remind me of watching, like, Free or something without the censoring on.
Where all the
swimmers, they're kind of gay, but we're not gonna, like, go into, and they're trying to, yeah, I just don't, at least I'm not getting gay baited. I'm not getting gay baited, and that's great, but it just, I don't know what to talk about for it.
It feels like there's a lot of sports animes that does the gay baiting. I hear, like, the skateboard anime did that, too.
Skateboard anime, I think, was really trying to be gay. And they got told no. But yeah, this is just what Dear Door is. It's like, it's kind of leading into, oh, you didn't get to do this when you were, you know, watching anime on VHS or, like, on DVD that you smuggle into your best friend's room, but now they get to, like, touch tips a bunch. So I do think that's great. I am super glad that exists, and I'm even more so that the author just got to gleefully do anything she wanted. I'm sure she had an absolute blast and is making good money on the print editions. Good for her. If you're interested, go read it. I don't think it's bad. It's just very long, and we're just throwing spaghetti at the wall a little bit.
Yeah, because it had a lot of popularity. I have a lot of friends who like that one.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to hear about that one in great depth, because it's also got my icks in it. It's got the non-con in it.
Yeah, yes.
And then it had, like, I will say it has the debate of non-con, because, like, one of my friends was like, well, this is more dubious consent. And I'm like, nope, that's not.
It is.
There's a difference. Dubious consent is, like, everyone means yes, but maybe there's alcohol involved. Or everyone means yes, but they're a little tsundere, and so they're saying no.
Or there's ABO stuff going on, and so it is yes, but also you're, like, incensed or whatever, and so is it really a yeah. And that's the other thing, too, is there is some non-con in it, but, like, it feels like like I said, it feels like non-con in the way that they were always capturing women and stripping them half naked in adventure animes when we were kids. Or, like, if you've...
Like Bastard?
Like Bastard, yes. But also, if you've seen Sailor Moon and the whole arc where she gets, like, kidnapped by Prince Diamond, and I'm, like, really uncomfortable as a kid because I don't understand the full context, but I'm, like, upset anyway. It's got that vibe to it. And, like, is it dubious consent technically because they're demons, but then is, like, is it really because whatever? Yeah, there's a lot of that shit going on. So I get... It just feels very 90s. It feels very 90s. And I don't dislike it, but it's just, yeah. Haven't really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So could I cover any of these? Sure. But I was becoming an adult during the birth of Cinema Sins and Assault a Critic, and plenty of content that could veer hypercritical or just downright mean, and I don't want to add to that. I do not want to do a yaoi sins, a yuri sins, a queer manga sins. I don't think that that's conducive. I don't think it's helpful. You can absolutely find someone crashing out about any of the comics we've covered And I guarantee that, like, any of these comics, you could find somebody who's livid about anything that we've covered, for sure. But I personally don't want to call someone out over something they put their heart, soul, and pussy into. Mild criticism is fine, but let's just have a good time and talk about our fave things. And also, we're American. And so I have enough things to be angry about.
Yeah, we want to save our energy for other stuff we have to do.
So, yeah. Yep.
If we go dark, remember us.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
You shut up.
You shut up.
So, final question that I've written down. Are you getting paid for this, and or could we pay you? If you've heard an ad at any time during Whole Chat, you can rest assured that Spotify screws all of us indiscriminately, and we haven't seen a single cent.
Ding!
However, now that we have moved to RSS, if we pull enough listeners, we can eventually enable paid ads, but we will let you know when or if that happens so that you are then not jump scared by, hey, we're selling toothbrushes for your butthole, or whatever the fuck people are putting out now. Or worse, AI, ABO heterosexual stories.
We will not do any AIs.
I won't do that to you.
We got a number. We have a number for things that we'll talk about. But guess what AI pay us? A cool billion. BILLION.
If
billion.
AI buys me a house, I'll think about it.
Buy me a house. Buy me a new leg.
Buy me a house, pay off my debt. That's the only way. But yeah, just in
I
case.
I want a cool leg. Like ones that look like Lego bricks but are made out of titanium. That's what I want.
Just, yeah. So we're. God fucking damn it. Oh, man, it's going to be weird. So, yes, if you have heard an ad, we don't have any control over that. If you hear ads in the future, we will let you know beforehand so that you are not jump scared by anything new popping up. That's where we are on that. We're a very small podcast at this point, so we're not sitting here... Oop, don't say it. Okay, wait.
Say it and we'll cut it.
We're not making more money than Ned Fulmer is, but we should be, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
Damn, we should be.
We should be, because we have some level of class. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Yeah, and we love women and respect our wives in this house.
I'm not cheating on my wife. I guarantee it. Okay. As for you paying us, this is a great time to announce that we have a Ko-Fi. We currently don't have anything special on there, mostly because Ko-Fi doesn't allow explicit content, but let us know if there's something that you'd be willing to slip us a few bucks for, and we will try and figure something out. Mm-hmm. I was going to make little packets of all of the screenshots that I let Keelz see during these episodes so you can kind of follow along, but they won't let me link the deep fucking screenshots that I take. There's too much hole and giant balloon animal pee-pee, so I couldn't let those to Ko-Fi in any way.
What if I drew everything as really bad stick figures?
I still think they would be like, you're trying to talk about sex, we're gonna, nuke your whole account. So this is why we haven't, but if there is something that you would like to see from us, some extra content that is hopefully not too difficult to make, we'll absolutely do that. Or if you just want to slip us a couple bucks just because you think we're interesting and you're enjoying this content, please feel free to do so. You're not expected. You are not required. It's just if you have the time and money. We know it's hard out there, but it's just, I've been told before that I need to make shit available because people get upset if I don't allow them to do things for me or something. We're working on this in therapy. I'm sorry. Okay, great.
We're working on that whole, we're artists and maybe we should be paid for our art. And not that this podcast is like a big shiny piece of art, but there is some work that goes into it. And we both are artists, and you did create this, so if someone wants to tip you, you should get a tip.
Right. Yep.
I know.
Yep.
We're working on it.
All right. Also, we, like any red-blooded Americans, can be bought for the right price. So if there's a comic you really want me to check out, or you want an episode for anything on the bottom part of that list specifically, so 4 through 7, you could grease my gay little palms. Similarly, if you want Keelz to do an episode, bribe her with cash.
For real, if you want me to write an episode, I guess I could surprise Chuck. Because, hear me out. My cost might be a little higher because you'll be forcing me to read a yaoi. And even though I like them, I don't read yaois without getting convinced these days. My wife, and I don't read everything she recommends, you know? So you gotta grease my fat little palm with some money. But if I'm convinced, I will do a comic. And, like, I actually do have a couple that I think I wouldn't mind doing. Like, I'd have to check with you, because I think I could edit Deviant enough to tell you about that one. Yeah. Again, Deviant is about a serial killer and gay people and how that affected someone. And Chuck hates serial killer and murders, so I don't bring my white nonsense into this, you know? I'm one of those, like, white girls who love a murder.
She's a true crime girly.
I am. I can't help it. It's in my blood. It's in my lack of melanin, you know? Anyways, but there is a comic out there that's really good. And I have a couple of, like, more Western comics that fall in the queer census that I could, like, recommend. I'm personally working up on writing, like, blurbs for our Bluesky about these comics so that they can also get a shout out. Because they're very good. They might not get discussed because, like, again, this is mostly Chuck's podcast. I'm just kind of the listener and I get to hang. But if you want me to write an episode and you want to give us some money, hell, I'm gonna do it.
Not gonna say no.
Yeah.
Not gonna ever fucking say no.
And it'd be so weird for me to be here knowing everything while Chuck doesn't know something. That would be weird.
And I was like, yeah, wow, I can't believe that.
And I'm, like, immediately going in my little mind going, what can I tell you about that doesn't have murder in it? Shit. You know, I've got one, I think. If I take out all the murder comics, I think there's one.
Okay, are there any questions that you think I missed? Because I know Keelz has been getting a lot of these from Discord groups, weirdly enough. So is there anything that you think I didn't cover?
Why aren't we accepting strangers to do
Oh my god, you are
us?
So right. Okay, to be fair, we talked about this a little bit. I guess I didn't say it firmly enough though. I'm only putting people I know on here. I do not want a stranger for a number of reasons. One of the main ones being I need to know kind of what your vibe is, and I can't always tell that if I've never met you before. You know what I mean? If I haven't seen any of your, like, if we're talking about moonshots, there's like a YouTuber that I wouldn't mind being on here, but I kind of know their vibes. I'm watching their videos. While I don't know them specifically as a person, I know the persona that they put on when they are being recorded or filmed. And so I know I can trust that bit, right? If I've never met you before, then I have to walk you through how to use your microphone. I have to walk you through how, you need to respond to me on certain things. There's so many other little bits and pieces that go into putting this together that, like, it's not always going to work. Like, I know Keelz is outspoken, Mia is a very active listener, and Lemon is very outspoken because she is a true masshole. I need that energy for this, or it's gonna sound like shit. And I think a lot of people, the first time they're on a show or doing something like this, get very, very quiet, take a lot of coaxing, and that seems like a terrible thing to do with somebody I've never met before. I'm also extremely anxious and have social anxiety. I don't necessarily want to get somebody's whole fucking vibe in 5 minutes. That makes me tired. Also, Keelz and I know kind of what to say to each other, and we still have to cut stuff out sometimes because it goes too far, it gets inappropriate. I do not want to be responsible for a guest coming on saying something way too personal or way too identifying about them and then be on the hook when they get into trouble. So it's also a liability thing. So we will not be accepting guests that neither of us know.
Yeah, and then to be honest, like, again, we are vibes. We've known each other for years. Like, if I was going to describe our relationship, we are slow burn girls next door. We grew up together as children. We're roomies in college, and hell, we're married now. So we did the whole spiel. So, like, if we only know you for one little second, one little interaction, that's not enough to tell us if you're also going to be maybe try to jerk the wheel away from Chuck. Because, like, I have a big personality, so there are times where I have to be reminded, this is the Chuck show, not the Keelz show. I talk a lot, guys. I do. And so, like, I crack a joke or two, but, like, I'm not going to be offended if Chuck cuts some stuff out because she's like, damn, girl, you just couldn't shut up. I don't shut up. But that's harder to do to a guest we don't know about. So if we brought someone on, we don't know them, and they keep trying to jerk the steering wheel of, like, the conversation, that's not going to go so great.
It's a liability in a lot of different ways. It could cause me a lot of problems. I could lose an episode because of that situation or whatever. And I just don't want to start beef with anybody either. It's not worth it. It's entirely not worth it. Full disclosure, also, I've been asked by authors and other podcasters and people I've never met before in the whole chat email if I want to present their story or talk about their story. I don't even want to do that. I'm gonna be absolutely honest with you. Unless I have some sort of idea of who you are or what your work has done before, I'm not super interested. There are a handful of artists and authors that I would be interested in having to, like, just shoot the shit, talk about their process and stuff. Those people have not reached out to me. It's been on all cold calls. And I have rejected every one of those cold calls because I did not feel comfortable reviewing in front of somebody their work. So that is going to be my hard line. Do not cold call me with being, hey, can you review this for me? Do not cold call me with, I know you've never met me before, but can I be on your podcast? And no, I do not have a YouTube or a podcast or anything else to show for it. I just think you're neat. Please do not do that. I will take anything else in our inbox. You can, again, show us pictures of your cats, do whatever. Not that. Where the answer is just going to be a firm, hard no. My heart can't take it. And again, overly responsible and anxious, can't take it. Can't do it, won't do it. Okay.
Yeah, we really are doing our best to promote stuff also that is fully completed. So that we have, like, completed works that people can go through. We're not saying that if you have something that's, like, halfway done, don't tell us, though. Because, like, maybe that's something we could write up about in Bluesky.
If you are working on something and you want to just, if you want me to read it and just, like, hype it up on the Bluesky or, like, social media or something like that, I absolutely will. If you want people, like, I always talk about people's ongoing other comics on this when I get an opportunity to. I know Mir Angchua just dropped a new book. The Kickstarter finished and they're shipping out now, and then the book is going to be released for regular order period within this week, so for Pride Month. That's great and that's really cool, but I still wouldn't necessarily want to talk to them live after having just read the book. I want some time to process and then think about it, and then, that sort of thing. So that, yeah, if you got something cool going on, you can tell us, but please do not expect to get on here. I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't.
We're trying to support how we can and how our anxieties can handle it.
Yeah.
And we're trying to support all kinds of, like, queer media, be books or comics or film or animations. I've asked Chuck if I could write up some blurbs for the Bluesky, if I could be like, hey, there's this thing. And those are more likely not to be finished because maybe I'm going to shout out a Kickstarter. Yeah. That's like, ooh, cool. This is a queer piece of media that also has people of color, and it's got this and this. Yeah,
absolutely.
I will happily shout out someone's effort. But, it's just like interviewing maybe an unfinished work on here. That's not the vibe, because, like, when Chuck and I were talking about what she wanted to do, she really wanted to have a source of completed novels, comics, whatever, that we could, like, tell people about so that, like, they had something that was done. Because I'm super impatient, as Chuck said. But, also, it's just nice sometimes to sit down with something that is going to go well. Mm-hmm. Or go to your taste. Or at least go to your vibes.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's that question. Do you have anything else?
Would you do a Discord server?
I would rather kill myself. I'm going to be absolutely honest.
Mm-hmm. And don't do that, kids. No, but so, like, here's the thing. Also, we don't have very many people talking to us. We see that we have quite a few listeners. We don't have many people talking to us. So, to be frank, unless we saw actual traction of people trying to share media, trying to talk, I don't think we would do a Discord or a forum where we're talking unless we actually saw people trying to do that.
Also, we're gonna talk about something very serious actually for a second. Discord is wilding out and banning whole accounts for the perception of inappropriate material, the amount of work that I have to do to make sure that the Discord would stay up and running is not worth it. Some of y'all live other places where y'all have like, you have to sign in with your fucking ID to do anything on the internet. It's not worth the smoke. It could be up for 2 weeks and be completely nuked. And if I put in that much work to make it and manage a Discord space for it to be nuked or have my entire account nuked because I shared the wrong image of a PP, it's not fucking worth it. It is not fucking worth it.
Yeah, because we didn't share like a censored... We showed an uncensored drawn dick.
Oh, if you share sheet music, you can get banned right now. So it's not worth it. And I think we need to all start supporting ourselves to not hole up on Discord. I also don't want to manage it. If we start making money and I can hire somebody to do that, sure. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'd rather do anything else.
But I would say we're more likely to do a forum that, you know, where we can control the web space and stuff.
Yeah.
But again, that involves money and time. And we're just not there yet. Mm-mm. I don't know if we'll ever get there. But so as right now, I don't think that's going to happen.
I want to talk to y'all in a controlled environment, like through my inbox. I don't want to do it in a Discord.
Yeah. Because unfortunately, especially since we're talking about not safe for work comics, not safe for work stuff is up for being banned on Discord. Just discussions of
exactly. I would have to vet so much stuff and it's not worth it. And listen, I'm not going to ever tell a teenager that they can't be somewhere that they're not supposed to be online because that would be hypocritical of me because I definitely read a lot of yaoi between the ages of 13 and 17. However, I don't need to know that about you. I'm not going to police you, but I don't need to know that about you. And some of y'all think that I need to know. And it's safer for both of us if we don't know that you're underage. And Discord invites that situation, and I don't want to police you, and I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So, legal reasons, tired, I will walk off a bridge, okay?
Yeah, because again, this is meant to just be kind of a fun hobby, and we have not grown enough to really warrant that kind of space. Mm-mm. And like Chuck says, all the policing with it, yikes. Because like it would be a nightmare for us to discover like a child was like in a Discord talking to who knows who knows what, because there's so much happening. I just don't think the Discord could work.
Yeah. Mostly because I'll die.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Do you dislike straight stories?
Oh, okay. That's a fair question. No. But I can do that literally all the time. Who gives a shit? I love Jane Austen's works. I love Pride and Prejudice. I'm watching one of my favorite artists live post about Pride and Prejudice right now, and I'm having the time of my life. I love Elizabeth Bennet. She is my queen. Darcy, hot as hell. Totally get it. I have watched all but one season of Bridgerton, having a great time. That's like watching the Super Bowl for me. Them motherfuckers start taking their clothes off. I throw whatever I have in my hands on the ground and start saying touchdown and offsides and all this bullshit. I consume plenty of straight romance. I love a rom-com. I even enjoy these shitty Hallmark Christmas ones because they're insane and don't make any fucking sense, and all the motherfuckers are cheating. Oof. So I consume so much of it, but that's the thing. I can look up straight shit at any time. I end up watching straight stuff where I didn't even expect there to be a relationship out of, and the relationship sucks. There's so many movies and shows that we've watched where it's a straight person and they're just together with another straight person because the writers are just like, fuck, they'll believe it. And I'm like, they have the chemistry of two squids dead on the pier. You know what I mean? I'm just sick of it. I do enough of that. I don't need to do anymore. If you want somebody to be talking to you about straight content, there are 3,000 podcasts probably right now that are talking about straight content in some way. There are multiple Twilight podcasts. There are multiple podcasts about The Bachelor. There are podcasts about Bridgerton that are the unofficial ones, not the official one. There are podcasts about Game of Thrones, whatever the fuck's going on in there. There are podcasts about any conceivable fantasy-styled or romantic thing you can think of, and it's talking about straight people. I would like to talk about gay shit because I am queer, and that's what I enjoy. And I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt to a stupid plot if I get to see two queer people make it nasty.
All right. And like for me, Keelz, to pitch in on this, I also love like straight slop, I guess. Like I read a lot of isekai. There's a lot of boy and girl. Like that's it. There's very few yaois out there that are actually decent and it's not just porn. I love a plot. Like I'm not turned on by like two bodies writhing. I am turned on by what the words are telling me. And so, damn, if you write it well, I love it. I really love Julia Quinn and the Bridgerton series. So that's like, oh, love all those books. That's great for me. There's plenty of like, again, I mentioned in manhwa to y'all, Foam of the Sea. There's no like smut in that. It's just very sweet. But like, I love a good romance story. That's what I would honestly like to see more. And like, yaois is more like really nice romance stories. And I don't mind if there's smut too. But, like, to be fair, in a lot of yaois that are very romantic, there's smut.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I want a very romantic story, there's smut. But there was, like, someone who made, like, a quote about, like, sex is different for a 22-year-old versus a 28-year-old when you're queer. Mm-hmm. And for a 22-year-old, sex is when you can be honest. And so that's why I think smut shows up in gay sex more, because you're young, and that's when you're finally being honest, because you're finally being with someone you want to be with. And so that's what's important about queer romance, is because they feel they can't tell anyone, they feel oppressed. Like, again, I'm going to say, just as a reminder, I did not come out until I was 26. I did not fear my parents, but I feared my hometown, because I knew bisexual was, like, really bad in my area. Like, to them, it was worse than being gay or lesbian. If you were bi, that's way worse. And I didn't tell anyone until I was 26. I was so old, in my opinion, when I finally decided to come out. Not that that matters. But what's great is having media that you can turn to. Mm-hmm. And there's so much straight slop. You can get whatever you want. Again, if you want me to recommend a good one to you, probably for $1, I'll tell you. You know?
But also, too, this is another good point, a more serious point. They are, the nebulous they, multiple organizations and governments are trying to censor queer romance at all. Like, just two queer people standing next to each other, they're trying to censor or get rid of. And I think that makes pornography even more important. We have been drawing pornography as human beings since the dawn of time. There's always some, like, I fucked your mom stuff written on, you know, the bathrooms of Pompeii or whatever. Somebody's always trying to draw a dick. Like, sex is part of human expression, and I think it's a very important part of artistic expression as well. And in a time where queer people seem like they're being attacked on all sides, especially in parts of the West, I'm going to talk even more about queer shit. So I'm so sorry, but the straights can take a break. I mean that earnestly. Hetero whatever can just take a break for a little bit for me to do this. And if I get asked that again, I am going to spit up. Because the answer should be obvious in the same way that I don't always just want to watch white people on TV. It'd be nice to see somebody who looks like me sometimes, you know what I mean? Representation matters, all that stuff. So this is why. Hey, I felt like that should be a little bit obvious, but yeah, I'm not going to be talking about straight stuff on here at length for any reason. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, if any straight stuff is mentioned, it'll be brought up by me, probably through bribes. And again, it's not that I don't have some amazing stuff to recommend, but again, there are so many people talking about it. So we're going to try and focus on the queer stuff, but we don't hate the straight stuff. If you think, man, I've heard Keelz' taste and stuff, I think I have a straight story they'd like, feel free to recommend it to me. I'm not going to turn my nose down. I'm going to read whatever you put in front of me.
Yeah, and hey, of course you don't hate straight people. Our parents are straight.
Yeah, they had to make us.
Okay, if that's all, any other questions that you guys have can likely be answered by health issues. Because my dudes, chronic illnesses are a son of a bitch. And I have 2. And Keelz has 1. Oh, do I have 3? Wait, never mind. There's stuff going on in my body and it's bad. There's stuff going on in Keel's body and it's bad. And so that's probably the answer to most anything else, is we're going through it. If you guys do have any other questions, don't be afraid to reach out. We will actually answer either you directly or we will bring it up in a podcast episode if we think more people need to hear it. Do it. It's not a big deal. Other than that, we have a full lineup for this month, so expect 3 more episodes throughout the rest of Pride Month. And then the future schedule after that will depend on how my next surgery goes, because I do have to get surgery in the middle of this month as well. Happy Pride Month to me. They're going to cut open part of my guts. Great.
This has been a year of surgery. Chuck is now on her 3rd surgery. I've had one too.
Yeah.
Fucking help us, man.
Yes. So for sure June's taken care of. We'll see about July. But I would like to keep making, at least 3 episodes a month as the rest of the year goes on. So we can get y'all some good shit, Please remember that you can reach out to us on Bluesky or Tumblr at whole-chat or email us at whole.chat.69@gmail.com. We really appreciate when y'all like, share, subscribe, tell your dad, or put clips on a thumb drive and throw it into the sea. And, most importantly, don't forget to tell your favorite queer artist or author that they're rad as hell, because it's their month, baby.
Yeah. Tell every gay person you know, hey, I see you. I like you. I'm here for you. Do that shit.
Give the nearest gay person to you a taco. And
if you were gay, buy yourself a taco.
But also, if you're not gay, give the nearest queer person you know a taco. If they have chronic illness, give them 2 tacos, because they deserve it. All right?
Yeah.
That's all we've got for you guys this week. Thank you guys so much for listening, and tighten up.
Tighten up.